live. We're here on twitch.tv/calling of justice, and we are live on YouTube. Claudia, is it? Sorry, at Claudia Alick, calling of justice. Yikes. I'm sorry. And then I'm just taking us right here. Okay. Right to the page. We're Trek talking. And we're live with Claudia Alick. We're live with Letitia Andre Doucette. We are going to be talking about, and I'm going to tell you what the name of it is. It's called, oh wait, no. I'm not going to tell you exactly what the name of it is because it's not in front of me. It's called 765874 Unification. That is the name of it. It is also unlisted on YouTube, so you can't search for it. So I'm just going to put it in the chat. So I'm putting that link in the chat. It's also in the like info notes on YouTube for this title. So if they want to find it, yeah, you can't actually search for it. I had to like Google and go to the Otoy article, and then they had the link. So yeah, and it's it was put there as just a unlisted thing. So now everybody can watch it. I guess should we just get started so we can see what our thoughts and opinions are on this. Is what is this the third unification? Technically, this would be unification part 3 or part 4. I didn't look that part up.
Unification part 1, that is Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Correct.
And that's with Spock, and that's with Spock doing shenanigans with the Romulans, and then, oh my God, Tasha Yar's, like, illegitimate daughter or whatever that was going on happened.
Yes.
Because of the time shenanigans.
Right.
Then there's Unification 2, that's just part 2. Or is that the Discovery episode? It's also the Romulan planet because, like, the Vulcans and the Romulans are, like on one planet now, Navarre. So, like, I feel like that was a unification. And then I would think this is, like, the last part.
You're right. Unification 3 is the name of, because part 1 and part 2 were 2 episodes of The Next Generation, and then part 3 is the Discovery episode about Navarre unification. So this is Unification 4, or in Star Trek, IV. It's like Star Trek 4, my favorite Star Trek. Okay, hold on. Let's start from the beginning. Are you ready? All right.
Yes and no. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to pause. We're going to pause right here, right on Gary Mitchell's mug.
Why is Kirk's best friend from, like, way back in the TOS days, what is he doing there? What is he doing in front of a fake Nexus? What the heck is that imagery supposed to be telling me? With just, like, Gary Mitchell just looking. And also, where's Gary Mitchell's girlfriend? Because, like, didn't she get him? Like I remember in that episode, she shot him with the electrical powers of her psychic.
Didn't like a rock crush him, or he didn't make it. He did not make it. But
does that mean we're in the afterlife, and that's why they were like, we're showing you a character who's dead, so you'll know we're in the afterlife?
No, but also he was like super mega godlike power. Do we like? It's not very like. Maybe he didn't die. I don't know. I do know that Gary Lockwood, the guy who plays Gary Mitchell, played him in this one as an old man in with a bunch of dots on his face. So that's good.
Well, like I don't want to look like that. Like if that, like he just looks weird. I don't know.
I don't understand
It's the
why.
unmelanatedness. I don't know, but it's given, you know, zombie. I don't. What is it?
I know it's like I don't know if he's is he trying to like because he goes to Kirk's. Well, let's continue watching as far
Let's
as
go.
to get to
More.
his purpose, why Gary Mitchell is there. Oh, whoops! You were supposed to pause. It was supposed to pause. It didn't pause. Okay, so this is Viridian 3.
Standing. We're looking fierce. Fine.
I'm going to pause it here because some of the things that we saw Kirk's grave on Viridian 3 where his body was actually not put. I mean, it was because, and I really think it's really rude that Picard did all that work after fighting. He was like, let me give you a grave. And they were like, we're just going to beam his body out and no one will know. I just think that that was rude to Picard's work. But we saw Yeoman Colt from the pilot episode, the ginger girl who didn't really have any lines, but she was a redhead, so that Pike had the choice between a redhead, a brunette, and a blonde, the three types of women. Um,
And none of
So
them black because the brunette is never a black person.
never, never.
I did
Sometimes the
notice.
redhead is though.
I did notice the imagery from Star Trek Picard from last year, where it was revealed that Section 31 had been storing Kirk's body in stasis at the Daystrom Institute.
At the
So
Daystrom
in that,
station, indeed.
but like all that other imagery you were talking about, it feels random. It feels it feels like some of the imagery is random imagery that Kirk never met that redheaded girl. So why is she there?
I
What is
mean, maybe
happening?
he did. She would have been maybe if she was a yeoman back then. Um, she would have been like maybe an ensign or a lieutenant with Kirk because this is like that was pre Strange New Worlds, even pre Discovery. It was pre Discovery when the pilot episode happened. So technically, Yeoman Colt could have been an officer by that point, but also that does not make sense. Her, it's straight up like nostalgia. Like they're just trying to like, but it's. I mean, I love it. I love fan service. I do, but I just don't feel like this is service.
But the service has to actually make sense.
Yeah.
And also, can we roll back about like how Kirk dies in the first place? Which I always thought not cool, like at all.
He
That
fell.
whole like, and I was just like, oh, it's just like that. That's how you end things.
You can tell when a story decision is made by producers, not writers. The writers didn't go, you know what the best story would be to bring Kirk back, have Kirk like meet Picard, and then Kirk would be dead. The producers were like, we should bring back that William Shatner actor to squeeze some more presentation out of him. That'll sell tickets. There's an audience demographic that doesn't like Next Generation. So we want to get them into the theater so they will like love Picard. And then
Mm-hmm.
we're going to kill Kirk so that we will let the audience know we are done telling stories that center Kirk. Stop wanting that. Cut to 2024 and here we are using artificial using whatever this technology that was used to make this happen.
A lot
I
of this was in cooperation with like everyone. Like
William Shatner is a producer on this.
Yeah, and he plays
So
himself.
isn't it like Leonard wife or whatever
It's
is
his,
also,
yeah, and the
and then
Roddenberry
the
Archive.
Roddenberry like they all co-signed this, and I was like, okay, but still, I just from like the not dramaticness of Kirk's death, right? Because then we get into later on Picard doing like all this rigmarole for a guy that just fell. Like,
He fell.
like, he fell. Well,
Let me just
not like
pile a bunch of rocks on him. We're good.
like, oh, sorry.
Oh goodness. So, okay, let's continue. Let's continue with okay.
Love the greenery,
Very pretty.
pretty statues. Filming.
Somebody had a drone. You guys see how that guy had a drone? Do you see how they had a drone? Sorry.
I missed the drone. So this is Navarre. This is where we are. Like this is supposed to, no. This is just like some random planet that I don't know what it is.
This is just some
It's,
garden.
it's
It's
some
just
garden
a
place.
garden.
Garden. Maybe
it-
the Garden of Eden. We don't know. It's got too
Yeah.
many different types of foliage that don't make sense together. As a plant person, none of this. Like, why are we doing this?
word. Okay.
Yeah, it's a garden. Okay.
Garden.
Oh, his
And
hand
now-
looks long for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, maybe it's because that's his real hand, or maybe it's because it's Sam Witwer's hand. Who knows? Because both of them played the role.
So I'm wondering if like that shot was actually Sam Witwer's hand, and I'm just reacting for no good reason, or if they did something weird to it, where they were trying to combine William Shatner's hand and Sam's hand. I don't know, but it looks wrong to me.
Mm-hmm.
As does this
This is totally wrong.
video game horrific.
It doesn't even look video game horrific. It looks.
You know that horror story I told you about the other day, where it's just like the customers like horror. This is if I was having a nightmare, that's what people would look like.
So, okay, we see a bunch of alien folks, and then who do we see but Robin Curtis playing Saavik? And that's awesome. Robin Curtis is the actress who played Saavik in Star Trek 3,
Oh, and they
the Search for Spock. She was in Wrath of Khan. She was played by Kirstie Alley in Wrath of Khan. And then in Search for Spock, she was recast as Robin Curtis. I think she was better. I actually liked her better, even though you don't get to see her quite as much. But there is also so that's neat. That's the same actress.
Huh.
Yeah, I think like the decision. She's really good at
Mhm.
her job. I like Kirstie Alley, but I don't think she was playing the right character for her skill sets, right? Because she does look a little alien-like as a white woman, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like she would have been, and she's also funny, and yet they put her as like this serious character. I was like, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
You know, so yeah, I just think she was not cast in the right role. So I was agreeing with that decision, but I wish Kirstie had been more utilized because I think she's a Star Trek nerd too.
Think so?
I will acknowledge that I don't like it when they recast the actors and they don't tell me, well, the person looks different because it's another dimension. It's a different universe. It's the multiverse. Like this is back in the day when they would just like switch an actor because they didn't respect actors. And they were like, anybody can play any role. It'll be fine.
Now, I will say, and this is a huge off-topic thing, they did do that with Superman and Lois. with the young man who played Jonathan Kent. No, sorry, Jordan Kent. I don't know. They're twins. But the young man who played him for the first
Yeah.
2 seasons decided to step back and that he didn't want to do it anymore. And so they recast the role. They didn't say anything. And I gotta say, the new kid looks more like his twin brother than the other guy did. And I can't even tell the difference.
They did the same thing with Interview with a Vampire. They're still doing it. They're still just recasting actors and being like, yeah, different person's playing the role. Go with it.
It's
Just go with it.
acting.
But coming back to this,
Yes.
my biggest question is why? Let me be more articulate. Why? Why this? Why Savik? Why Savik's like, because you know that person behind her is supposed to be Spock's baby, because like they set that up, and then like Star Trek 4 came, and then they were getting whales, and I was like, what happened to Spock's baby? And then Star Trek The Next Generation came, and we saw a lot of Spock, but we never heard about Spock's potential baby he had with her. What had happened with that?
The baby wasn't actually ever mentioned outside of book canon. The baby, like, I mean, it wasn't even really mentioned that Savik and Spock did have a union, because they had to, because from young adulthood to fully grown Spock, how many Ponfars do you think he had to go through? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But yes, it was so obviously
Spock can get it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, and
Yeah,
we have
Spock
known
could
this.
Get it with any species, in the galaxy, but maybe he got babies all over and a bunch of baby mamas. Was he an absentee father because he enjoyed Star Trek above the family life?
Well,
or
his father, I think that him and Savik had an agreement, but he did have another child from the past or something that he had that he did fully abandon. No child is James T. Kirk. And that's how Kirk feels about Spock. Sorry, David. I mean, R.I.P.
I have been trying to look up some kind of, because I've been dropping links in the chat just to be like, here's some more facts about what we're talking about, and it is very difficult to find anything online that's really talking about Spock's son. I am seeing a book. It looks like there's a book, and I can't even tell like what this kid's name is. Google lost its mind.
His name is
it's Adam. And
his name is Sorak. No, his name is Sorak. That's this dude in purple in the background. I'm gonna press play. Oh, look.
No,
He's like, oh, hey, I know you. From that one time. And she's like, yeah, this is a guy. And he sort of smirks and...
just the white guy.
Like, this should be significant to you, Kirk. I know you have a son.
And then he gives her a look. Why would you bring this... Why would you bring this young Vulcan guy here? I mean, like, the unspoken communication that makes no sense that is happening here. Because
facial expressions are just
okay, I'm gonna rewind it just a skosh, because I want you to watch. Let's watch what they're saying to each other.
What? Wait a second.
Huh.
Okay, come on. I'm telling you, we did it. Check it out. Dang, girl, good for you, I guess. Huh. Okay.
He hit that.
And what she's about to say
like,
something. What was she about to say? She's like,
You know what? Never mind.
I was about to tell you, actually, she's your son. It's real weird. Like, why am I showing you Rock's son? Like, why is this?
Why are you here in this garden? What is happening? Pause. You guys want to know who that
Why?
is? Do you want to know who
Yeah.
this is? This
Yes,
is
yes.
Lieutenant Yor. He's from the Beetlejuicean. He's a Beetlejuicean time soldier, and he was one. And he is from the Kelvin timeline, and that is why he is here. He was introduced in that episode, just like as a. This is what the guy looks like, I think, in Star Trek Discovery episode. But he is from the Kelvin timeline, and then he got lost and flipped around. So he's from the Kelvin timeline, and that is why he is here. It actually
What's his name?
makes sense, even though none of this makes sense.
What's his name though?
Lieutenant Yor.
And what is Lieutenant Yor's story though? Like I'm confused. Like why?
He's a time soldier. He is from the Kelvin timeline. He was separated away from that timeline for too long, and then I believe he destabilized and passed away.
When did you learn his story? Like what show was this? Is this Discovery?
This is Discovery. This is when we
Oh,
learn that Empress Giorgio needs to get and go, and or she's gonna.
okay.
But it was this guy. This is the guy. He's from the But the point is that he is from the Kelvin timeline.
But
Okay.
he's supposed to be dead. Okay, just stabilize.
Yeah, he's supposed to
When you
be.
stabilize. You don't really die. You just
But
multiply.
also,
I don't know.
but also, did he have a relationship at all with Kirk?
Has nothing
Or
to do with Kirk. He's from the
It's not just
Kelvin
Kirk.
timeline. Where's
This is
Spock?
about-
Where is Spock? And where
okay,
did?
so, okay.
That's what
okay.
he's for. Hold on. So he's all like, "Look, you've seen me before." Again, no words.
Oh, Maya,
Your head is like literally.
I am
over
Kirk, guys. I am Kirk now.
all right. I was just like,
I am your Kirk.
The shirts match.
he doesn't look like a real person. He looks like a cartoon. Or looks real, but
I don't like this. I think this whole part is dumb. I'm sorry.
okay. So pause. Go ahead and pause, just for a hot
Mhm,
second.
mhm.
Okay, so this film is mostly William Shatner doing a lot of silent face acting. I actually revisited TOS. I watched a very unfortunate episode. I was inspired to do so by Laura Dex, and it was called The Paradise Syndrome.
Mm.
It's so messed up. It is it's messed up on a bunch of levels. But most of the episode is a voiceover. So it's like him voiceover, and because like he hits his head at the top of the episode, loses his memory, and then it's William Shatner's voiceover being like, I can't believe I feel like this. This is amazing. I'm so happy. And then you see the actor like doing a lot of silent acting. And I think that like William Shatner likes that, thinks that's an awesome idea, thinks it's really cool. So I feel like this reflects maybe some of William Shatner's aesthetics, the entire like.
He worked.
It reminds me of what I used to do while watching America's Next Top Model. Because Tyra was like, you have to smize, and every time I was just like, know your angles, which I know is like true because I just did a modeling gig and they're like, you have to know your angles, Letitia, chin down.
Well,
You can
so
smize. Confused.
I think that the face stuff is because the face stuff is William Shatner, and all of the body stuff is Sam Witwer. And that's why we're seeing like faces that, I mean, we do know that William Shatner loved making faces, but like that's why we're like really seeing that. It's because
The body looks different
Mm-hmm.
at different times, and you'll see it. Like, I want you to press play because when you get the full body, and I don't know, this is someone with back problems who's walking.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. You can see a 92-year-old man. Wait, is that how old he is?
93. He's the same age as my great aunt.
Yeah.
Oh, he sees it young himself in the.
Hey, look, now there's a body. Okay, younger,
Mm-hmm.
guideliner, mascara. We love it.
A middle-aged.
That's Admiral. Um.
Admiral.
Kirk.
Like in the movies, he got
From-
so weird about aging.
And then that's Generations Kirk.
But look at that. Just pause.
Oop. Let's go back just a skosh.
Like
Hold
to
on.
look at the different bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are different. Okay, so we got.
Yeah, that's Sam. That's definitely Sam's body.
Oh. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, it really is. I watched a lot of that vampire show. All right, let's see them all.
Also, what is this face acting? Like, what are they? They're like, he's looking at him old self, but like, it's so good.
Now he's like, hey,
Still looking
boys.
good. Still looking good. And then he's like,
Yeah,
good
so,
with
okay.
it.
I've paused it. Now we see. I think that the oldest Kirk is actually William Shatner. The Generations one, I think that's actual William Shatner playing himself.
Okay.
And then I
Girl.
think the middle
Yeah, with
is.
a girdle. Yeah.
Yeah, the middle is. It's just because of this weird stiff way, you know?
Yeah.
He's been
Totally.
wearing a
Like he's
girdle
wearing
for years.
shapewear. Yeah. That
Does-
shapewear
does
stiffness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good. He's like,
It's like it probably goes all the way, like it's compression. It's probably a compression suit.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if he wasn't wearing kind of like oh, what's her name? I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. That lady, she wears compression stuff on her entire body.
Brilliant.
Yes, I gotta say, if you're trying to keep it tight, but it ain't tight, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's very comfy because I love compression, like almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
I got compression tops and compression tights, and they saved my life.
You
Yeah.
should get one of those whole suits that Christina Aguilera wears.
But that's her name.
Uh-huh.
Her name.
We
But-
love Christina.
So I think that the two younger Kirks are Sam Witwer. I think both of them are from the posture, and I think old man Kirk is old man Kirk.
I
Yeah.
do think I'm gonna say I already like Sam as an actor. I'm gonna say I am clocking that Sam is making some choices that are like, oh yeah. One of the choices that William Shatner made was to put his hands behind his back a lot when he was trying
Yeah,
to.
he did that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm an
Um,
admiral, I've got to be not myself.
Yeah.
Look like I have some authority.
This place that they're at, this no place, does it remind you of any other Star Trek places or imagery or anything we have ever witnessed in Star Trek?
No, it looks like a shapeless void of nothing. And it bothers the heck out of me because what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Like, is it the path? So we know where Kirk is going, but is this like a pathway between universes? Is that what's happening? Like when he got whatever that the comm badge, because he was given a comm badge from the Kelvin universe. He did something. He ended up in this space. Is this how people navigate through universes? And if it is, why is this how we're seeing it for the first time? This doesn't make sense.
Okay.
That's how I feel. I'm like, what are they doing? I think that's what they're doing, though. I don't know. I'm going to go.
Where'd you go?
Look, he looks like he's wearing a wig, too. Like it's...
He's like, I get what I'm supposed to do. I'm looking at this thing in my hand. I'm going to put it on my body.
There you
And
go.
now I'm going to use it. And now, like, I saw all those different versions
There
of
are
myself,
always
and now I know.
possibilities, Spock said. And if Genesis is indeed life from death, I must return to this place again.
Huh? What? Why? No, pause. What? So, Genesis, Star Trek 2, there's a planet. No. Yeah. Star Trek 2, wait. Star Trek 2 is Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
And that's when well, Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 3 are like
Star Trek. Yeah, they're like part one, part two. They
Yeah,
like
so
they one happen one after the other. Planet Genesis doesn't develop until Star Trek 3.
okay, so in Star Trek 3, Kirk's son David is still there, and Spock died in Wrath of Khan, and then was put on the Genesis planet, and then was like reborn, right? Because like he died in the Wrath of Khan, and then he was sent to the, like, they sent his dead body. They were like, "Oh, we're so sad you're dead, Spock." And they sent his dead body to the planet.
David's already gone. David died in 2. He died at the end of 2.
No.
Oh wait, no, you're right. You're right.
Okay, all right. We're back. Okay, so 2, Spock dies. They send his dead body to the Genesis planet. Then Star Trek 3, that's when they bring Spock back. They couldn't get Christy Alley, so they have a different actress playing Spock's girlfriend, Saavik. They and I'm like, okay, reference this stuff. You've got this voiceover that's like Genesis planet. Spock, because Spock fully died, right? But Spock died, but before he died, he put his Katra into the Doctor. So the Doctor had his Katra, so that when his like new body was like there, then, because like it wasn't really him until his Katra was put into that new body, and then it was fully him. What is happening right now? Why are we here? Is this the Genesis planet?
No, this is the Kelvin verse.
But no, then why is the voiceover talking about the Genesis planet?
Because he's talking about returning? I don't know. Because they needed some sort of text that would talk about like wanting to be with, how he has to
Return to the spot that Spock died?
and now that's where he's
Was
going
reborn?
again. And that's where he's going again, to the spot that Spock is dying at for a second time.
I'll go ahead and hit play, but I keep being like, for all the voices, I'm like, why?
I don't know. I don't even know why.
Terrible.
Period.
This looks terrible.
It looks like a doll.
It looks like when somebody uses one of those filters on TikTok, but they don't know how to use it.
It's an
right.
action figure. It's an action figure. It looks like an action figure, like that one
You're
show.
93. You might walk funny with some compression.
I mean, I hope so.
Right.
I hope so.
Yes, he's like, I've been here before. I remember this.
Can't even sit down.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, look how tight it is.
buddy.
You got this.
I gotta hold on to the side of the bed to balance myself.
This is Lawrence Selleck, and this is the only thing he's ever done was play the body double for Spock. I tried to see if he had done anything,
So,
and
like,
he
they
hasn't.
Sam Whitmer to do all of this stuff, because I'm like, I am confused why they needed to get like a real actor to play the body. And I see that you don't really.
I think Sam Witwer is just like a really big fan of Star Trek. He's kind of a geeky, nerdy guy who likes to do generally geeky, nerdy type of things. There's like, I mean, I sometimes forget that he wasn't Lucifer. It's the other guy.
Can we look at his Instagram after we watch this? Because he has video of the makeup that they did, and it doesn't look like some AI nonsense, but like really good makeup artists putting makeup on him to make him look like William Shatner, which, if that is true, shout out to our special effects makeup artists who are actually really good. But yeah, there's whole like where he's showing pictures and things, and behind the scenes. So I would really like us to kind of look at that too. But I think it's funny that this guy, his only thing he's done is body double as a dead body, for an amazing actor. So
Oh, we were wrong. Sorry. We're gonna look at the Instagram when we're done because we were
Okay, I'm
wrong,
excited.
y'all. We were
Excellent. I'm so
wrong.
excited. I can't believe how we were wrong. Amazing.
Ooh.
But I'm also so yeah, the voiceover talking about like I was just like, why are you talking about the Genesis planet? What is going on? What is going on? Where are we and why are we here?
Well, it's weird because there's a lot of callbacks to that specifically to Star Trek 3 because we see. And so I'm like, are we saying that the other Spock, like we're just not counting that Spock and we're just talking about the rebirth of Spock 2.0? Because it seems like they're only mourning that life and not the before Force stuff. But I will say that the before Force stuff has a lot of information that there is no way Kirk would ever have. Like a lot of confidential information that would never get because of Starfleet secrets and Section 31 and things like that. So I guess this is the best they can do of what Kirk actually knows about his best friend's life.
Okay.
And it's kind of a bummer that he only is intimately aware of his best friend's life from Star Trek 3 on, but I'm going to say that is it. But also, look. I don't like it.
Weird look at it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Whoa. See? That right there looks like this looks like a video game.
Yep.
This looks like a video game. I do not.
If it was a video game, I wouldn't mind. I'd be like, oh, this is so cool for this video game. But because it's a film, I am really disturbed by it, Uncanny Valley style.
Well, I play a game that is Star Trek that has Spock in it, and it's really good.
But we expect that from a game, not a movie.
Yes.
I feel like it's like when Netflix did that whole documentary on Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and their like manager person was corrupt.
Lou Pearlman.
And they specifically recreated his face and his body sitting at like some sort of desk, and they also recreated his voice to narrate portions of his autobiography that he had written, and they also made it look like an old like 80s 90s videotape, like complete with like the shaking and all of that. You remember when VHS tapes
Yes.
used to look wonky? And they would only do it for like these small little clips, 100% unnecessary to tell the story, but almost as if to say like, oh look, we can use technology in order to do this kind of thing. And it really creeped me out because I'm like, what are the implications of that? Right?
Well, it's just deep faking, right?
Yeah.
Like most of this, like this would be deep faked, but it would also be like sponsored deep faking or deep faking with permission.
Right. But remember that the whole thing with like Scarlett Johansson, that they were going to use her face without her permission and things like that. And they were going to do it to Keanu Reeves as well, in order to make a new movie. And it's just kind of like, this is why Prince said, don't do that mess. And then they did that mess for like a Super Bowl. And they're like, well, it's not really, it's just a hologram. He didn't want any of that. He didn't want a part of any of that. And I think it was for these reasons. It's weird. It's weird.
Well, and y'all, while you're having this conversation, I'm doing a little bit of research, and I just realized this is a part 3. The reason I'm watching this and being like, what The F is any of this is.
Are you joking?
Yeah, let me share this piece of news. Before diving into unification, it's worth exploring a bit about the previous 3 films in this series, each of which also featured the character of Yeoman Colt from The Cage, played by Urbach's wife, Maha Tiesa. They noticed she had a striking resemblance to the original actress Laurel Goodwin, which Urbach says was serendipitous. The conceit of the Otoy Films series is a deep cut tied into a story from the 1998 Marvel comic Star Trek Early Voyages featuring Colt. Urban explains, what's interesting is that Marvel comic book is not her adventure into the future. It's on the way back she sees all of the Star Trek timeline. In this awakening and seeing everything and having that experience. So we can't fully understand this unless we watch the other 3 Otoy films. I'm only finding this out right now.
My brain. My
yes.
brain.
My everything, yes.
That actually, I gotta say something. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That actually makes me happy.
Yes.
Because if this doesn't make sense and they're like, oh, that's because you haven't seen the whole thing, okay. Okay. But if after I watch the other 2 and then watch this again, it still doesn't make sense, I might be mad.
But also, I actually think we're right. I think that our attitude and our take on this is completely right. I'm going to share this when we get done with the film. So let's finish the experience, and I'm going to share one of the producers or directors' observations about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
So Spock is like, what the fuck you doing here?
Whoa, dude. I think he'd be like, Jim! Remember that time?
Yeah.
He wouldn't be like, huh?
And now he's like,
What?
oh, okay.
You just get one eyebrow. You get one eyebrow move, and that's supposed to be really significant. And
Well, when you're dying, you probably don't have like much room for.
I don't know.
Now we're gonna look south.
Inspiring to what? People say that all the time. They're like, wow, that sunset is so inspiring. To do what?
I mean, it looks pretty, but like maybe the sun setting is significant because that represents Spock dying. You know, just like in Little Women, right? When like the wind blows and she like goes to like the window. That's dead.
Do you think that's a star date?
I
Do you think
it's
that's a star date? I just
Yeah.
thought of that. I think that's probably a star date.
Yeah, I figured that's the star date that Spock dies on, where they were like, Spock must die in the Kelvin universe at some point. I don't remember that being in the movies, y'all.
No, he died at the end of the Kelvin universe, or not at the end, at the beginning of the
Second movie?
second
Did
movie.
the little thingy, and then
They didn't see he just died, and then they're like, "Hey, Spock, sorry about Spock. He left you this picture of him and his buddies."
Uh-huh.
And then he looks at a picture, and it's a cast picture from this the Star Trek that this Kirk is based off of, like the dress of him. So I mean, I'm assuming that Gary Mitchell, with his omnipresent powers, grabs Kirk from the moment of his death, puts him into this space where he can go and see people and send him to go see his buddy because he's such a good friend.
Y'all,
Friendship.
the number is Yeoman Colt's service number.
Really?
It's something that we could never guess on
Then
our
who
own.
the heck is Yeoman Colt?
Well, here's the thing. In a Marvel comic that was published in 1998, somebody told a story about her becoming an observer and traveling through time. And
Oh, an
immediately, oh
observer.
my God, my wife looks like that actress who played that character. I should make a little short, weird film about that. And then they made more. One of them has the Gary Mitchell character in it, which is why we were like, what the hell is this? Like, we're grasping to create meaning out of something where, first of all, okay, he says this. We filmed this in a very specific way so that there's nothing that locks you into this being one interpretation. Is this the afterlife or not? You could read it both ways. You could see it as Kirk being resurrected from his bones that you see in Picard season 3, or it could be totally in Spock's mind on his deathbed, or it could be the equivalent of like the Star Trek afterlife. We were very careful in how we shot every scene so you would have that ambiguity. I have my own interpretation of it. We all agreed that we should let the viewers decide what they're seeing. And you know who says that? Somebody who can't tell a story. Somebody who just slams a bunch of stuff together and is just like, you people will like this. Here's a bunch of weird, random Star Trek image. Love it. Enjoy this.
And also, please may have weird feelings about my wife. Because she looks like, is that why you married her? It's because she reminded, like, you didn't just wake up one day and realize that your wife looks like this one specific actress from this very hyper specific, you know what I mean? Like,
You're right.
that just doesn't happen.
Like, whoa, that's so weird. I never noticed.
I never noticed.
Like, all right, buddy. All right. So there are 2 other episodes, and they're the series of numbers, and then the first one is called Regeneration, and the second one is called
A perfect system.
or sorry, the first one is called Memory Wall, and the second one is called Regeneration, and then the third one is called Unification. Those are the
Are
names.
we gonna watch those other two
there's
now?
more. The third one is called A Perfect System and is all about Gary Mitchell.
Oh, so then there's a fourth one.
We're watching, this is the fourth one we're watching. I thought that this was the only one that existed, which is why I was
I'm
like,
so
somebody make a weird
confused.
Star Trek movie, and I shared it with you. And I literally found out during this live stream, actually, Otoy made, or whoever this company is, made, yeah, I think it's Otoy, they made 3 others that we could watch. Not now, not right this minute, but
Weird.
yeah, like
So yeah, I have. I found 2 of them. I found Memory Wall and Regeneration.
okay, so the third, the other one is called A Perfect System, I think. I think. Wait.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Well, anyway, we should watch it at some point. I'm realizing that they made this to not have an actual, like, there is no canon. There is no, if the creators make something and they're like, well, we made it so you could, like, decide what it was. To me, I have such a negative reaction to that. I go, why did I experience the thing you made if it isn't anything? Because
Unless you want to tell me beforehand, so that I be an active participant. Like Black Mirror will do that. Like you will have to, but they tell you that this is what's happening, right? That it's the intention of the storytelling to be ambiguous or weird or whatever. And so when any sort of director, writer, or whatever just is like, well, no, I think it's just a reaction that they say to avoid accountability for the poor storytelling.
Yeah, they're like, well, if you don't like it, then it's because it just doesn't align with
You're not
with what you
interpreting.
think the story is. You're just not interpreting it, and that's okay.
so
It's like my problem with modern art.
in that
Like,
garden area, the man who's wearing like a white Starfleet uniform, he is credited as Crusher. His name is Crusher.
But it's not. It's not.
There are no other details. There's no other details. There's no other details. It's just that that's Crusher. Is it Wesley Crusher? Is it Jack Crusher? Is it some other Crusher we've never met? It's some man named Crusher, and the guy who made this Urbach is not giving us any other details. He's like, again, this feels very annoying. Where it's just like he's gotten permission to like just have like scatter a bunch of Star Trek references in a bowl and be like, enjoy this. You like Star Trek? You can make the story up yourself. You'll like that. You'll like
But
doing
that's
that.
just, and here's the thing is that, like, if it's just fan fiction, then just do fan fiction. But, but the reverence with which people have been treating this, when this is just fan fiction, that's where I'm at. I'm like, this is just fan fiction. And just because we got to see Robin Curtis and we get to see James T. Kirk's face, that doesn't, it's just fan fiction. And lots of Star Trek actors do fan fiction, including William Shatner now. Continuing voyages, anyone? Like, Star Trek is full of non-canon fan-made stories. But a lot of them I don't love. This one was, I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was weird looking, but maybe I will like it more if I watch the other movies. Probably not.
I don't know, because this is what it says on the home.otoy/unification.
Yeah.
That it is a commemorating the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Generations. And then the other captions on the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Generations, the archive and William Shatner revisit Captain Kirk's final appearance on screen in a new 8-minute video produced for the archive app on Apple Vision Pro 765874:unification, launched in tandem with new interactive sets and documentary interviews and behind-the-scenes content celebrating the legacy of the 1994 film.
I'm wishing that they had released this when I was thirsty. Because I will say this. If they had released this like the year before Discovery came out, I would have been like, this is the most awesome thing ever. Have you all seen this? It's so good. Why? Because I didn't have Lower Decks. I didn't have Prodigy. I didn't have other projects that like reference and let me enjoy past Star Trek stuff and revisit past Star Trek ideas and characters in a way that feels like it exists in the universe and works. This does not feel like a fully realized product. So I'm reacting to it. I think in the same way, Maiamama, you were naming like the star, because like you're right, Star Trek actors have been in those weird Star Trek movies. I'm remembering I saw one where it was all about Chekhov and like the actual what's his name?
Walter Koenig.
Yeah, Walter Koenig
And
was
Tim Russ. Tim Russ has done multiple ones, and so has George Takei. It's just a thing.
Were terrible, but also when you're hungry, when you are thirsty for some Star Trek, it hits the right spot.
It
like
does.
You know how some people like a really high end beer, but others will just drink like a Bud Light or something. To me, that's what it is, right? Where it's like, oh, I wish I could get some good Star Trek, but in the meantime, since there's no fresh Star Trek, I'll watch this weird stuff that's not quite right.
Yeah. So I was asked to go to Sam Witwer's Instagram, Switwer1, and I just wanted to, if we look at this image, this is him. Let's see if I can zoom in on his face.
Yeah.
Claudia, would you say enhance?
Enhance.
Oh, whoops, too much. There we go.
Too much enhancing.
Enhance.
Wow. So I guess they gave him some body padding. So he was not.
Well, they used prosthetics and makeup and then added the digital stuff in later.
Yeah.
Like, they really did get his face to be, because if you look at some of the other pictures, they really got it close with the makeup.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, let
He's
me
giving young Kirk. He is.
He really is.
Well, and here's the thing though. It's like how young of Kirk are we talking about? Cuz like this is just an image that they used for of young Kirk. Let me see. Let's on Does he talk?
That's giving young Kirk. That's TOS. Like season 2, season 3. Come on.
Complete with the
Yeah, it's
guyliner.
good. That's good. I
I
also
love
let's
William
see, can I
Shatner
get
with
the
guyliner.
Oh wait, look, there's the arrow. And so that's him too. But also so a lot of this was makeup? That's what they're telling us. Is it
Well,
Yeah.
know that they tried to make his face look as much as what they were going to map onto it as possible, and that makes a lot of sense to me that that's the choice they would make,
Mhm.
because you're not going to have a perfect match all the time, so you want to have something to kind of blend it. I think that makes a lot of sense, but
And then
like,
you don't get like what you see in other of those deep fakes, that choppiness.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
Where because and that's why the facial expressions look so strange, because they're actually the facial expressions and then just slightly kind of digitally. It's just weird. But
so
But I'm
William Shatner.
surprised. I'm surprised because I thought that this one had to be, but it's the padding and stuff that is making him.
um
if you read the article, the what is it? That William Shatner, what is it? Because I'm reading this. So if you go onto this whatever app, Apple Vision Pro, I don't know what that is. I don't have Apple products. Um, Shatner does a 20-minute retrospective looking back over the last 30 years since he played the legendary character and his aspirations for the future of Captain Kirk as the franchise approaches the 60-year mark.
It's the
And
VR,
then,
so yeah, so
yeah,
the
the
Apple
Apple
Vision Pro
VR.
R was this film isn't meant to be enjoyed in a VR setting though, right? It's supposed to be just watched on a computer.
no,
Maybe
there's like all this other stuff on their like app or whatever about the
I,
movie, behind the scenes about this,
I'm
and
just
then
trying to figure out what's the platform we are supposed to be enjoying and watching this on.
I
Like,
I
think
think it's both.
this one we're supposed to just be watching, but it's possible that there's lots of interviews and like other experiences that have to do with this film series and the work that's done that is on the Apple Vision
was
thing.
made to enjoy it by watching it at peak fidelity on Apple Vision Pro. Like part of this
Oh.
is I I'm like, oh, I was saying, oh, I think I'd be less mad at this if this was a video game. I'm thinking that I would find this experience less aesthetically displeasing if I was watching it with those goggles on in that weird. I think I would like it more that way.
Yeah. And then like goes on to say Mr. Shatner worked with the toy team to fine tune the technical and creative direction required to bring his interpretation of Kirk back to live action for the first time in 30 years, including the addition of his voice to narrate a key moment in the experience. And when he described unification and Otoy's digital prosthetic technology that was used to revisit Star Trek history, Shatner said it takes years off of your face so that in a film you can look 10, 20, 30, 50 younger than you are. And
Mm.
Shatner surprised fans yesterday when he shared the first private screening of the video on tour in Ticonderoga, New York. I've never been there.
The pencil
Um,
place?
never been to that part of the state. Um, maybe I should go. But yeah, it's just all this explanation.
Now that I've complained about it so much, I'm realizing that if I had an Apple Vision Pro, I would immediately be downloading all of this stuff and watching it.
I wouldn't, but
Yeah, same. But I also,
I
as
read
soon as you
no
were done,
that
I would be
follow
like,
by
Claudia, tell me more. So, here, really quick,
y'all didn't
let's.
react to what I said. You weren't listening, and
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you said that you would do it. You would get the Apple
no,
Pro.
I said I have read William Shatner's autobiography. I will watch anything Star Trek. I have problems. That's right. That's the right reaction that you should have. It was ghost written, y'all. Come on. I
Why
should
would
have
you
more
do that
respect
to
for myself.
yourself?
I
I
want to
read it
watch all
too.
of this stuff. I want to see all of it.
So, well,
I
this
don't
is.
know if I would do that because I'm not, because I heard what you said. I'm just saying I wouldn't go that far. I just personally would not. But I am intrigued, but not enough to switch to Apple products and get. And I can't look at anything VR anyway because those headsets do not fit over these really cute glasses that I have.
Oh,
And so I can't, I'm still blind in VR.
So, looking at the image, I'm like watching it now, and I'm going, oh, yeah, I can see how they want us to look at
yeah.
that. Look at that. Look at that. That's why I was like, oh, look, they have a drone. Claudia, the reason was because of the levelness of the camera, the way that it dipped down and around like that. So, I mean, I'm not going to get a VR nothing.
You don't want us
Um,
to buy you an Apple Vision Pro headset so you can do
no,
this
no,
and
I
nothing else
I
with it?
would rather have the monetary
Um,
equivalent um, that's in sponsorship on my Buy Me a Coffee.
I've got this Google Cardboard. Now, they did stop programming for Google Cardboard, but I feel like this is equivalent. This should do the same thing.
I mean, I don't know. I've never even tried a cardboard thing. So
Okay. This is literally just cardboard, and then you put your cell phone into it, and then they have like the lenses, and then you can have like a poor man's VR
well, that's
experience.
fun.
Listen,
I
that
actually
is
thought this was going to
exactly
be.
how us Android users operate. We don't need no fancy stuff. We can make it work with a box. Android for life.
Oh, I'm glad I've got some people in the TikTok audience just to
The
share my unhealthy love of Star Trek. I'm grateful that I love Star Trek so much that it can make me feel good no matter what happens. And I will even enjoy terrible Star Trek. I will enjoy terrible, terrible Star Trek. I have enjoyed this so much. And Maiamama, I just want to say, you make Trek Talk. You might want to move yourself so you can see like the Trek Talk logo again.
oh, I can do this.
Trek Talk, so much fun. You do this so well. Just thank you for like using your engineering genius stuff to allow us to watch the film together and react to it. Because I needed to not be alone in this experience. After I watched the video, I was like, I was asking everybody, and no one had seen it. So thank you.
No, and I
So
have to
I was
say, oh, go ahead.
afraid. I was afraid that William Shatner had died, and I had like a panic attack and almost started crying when I was like, "This is actually something that you can Google, Lutisha, before you go down like a spiral, because we done lost Darth Vader, right? We done lost a lot of people in 2024 that we grew up with and loved. So I was like, first of all, is this a memorial? I just need to know he's still alive as of before and then I checked it with my great aunt because she's still alive too. Okay. Clara, I love you. She good. So, our 93-year-olds, we gotta check in with them, y'all.
Yes.
They are precious to us.
Check on your 93-year-olds, everyone.
Check on the old people in your life, okay? they're actually not okay. I'm just letting you know they're in distress right now. They're in like a lot of distress, and they won't really tell you, but they are. So check in on your elders. Thank you so much. Comfort them and let them know that you love them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Hugs, cookies. Spend some time with them. Okay, they need it right now, especially in this country. Um, but William Shatner is okay. But like whenever I see things like that, and I know that, and I was like, oh my god, because what do I do? Star Wars, the god.
Oh, I'm I I generally avoid these type of this form of Star Trek fiction, but I do read the comic books. One of the last comic books I read was a Kelvin verse cross with the Green Lantern Corps, and
That
that's
sounds
all.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people got rings. Some people got rings. But I do recommend that.
Why don't you
I love the
slide into my
comics.
DMs and send that, just
I got that on the Hoopla. Use your library card, people. Libraries are fundamental and are important to all of us. And yeah, just put it on your card. I
yeah.
saw a funny video about someone who was like, "Ooh, put it on my card," and she meant her library card, and I was like, "Yes, that's me."
Library cards. I just need the name. Just put the name in my
Oh,
DM,
yes,
and
I
then
will
I
send that
can
to you. Hmm.
go get it. Because yes, support your local libraries. They are amazing. But Star Trek. I think because I'm still grieving, y'all. Luna and Callie gone. I know it's been a minute since you've seen me on Trek Talk because that's why uh, I've had a sad. My uh, Trek watching buddies are gone, and so it's just been really hard to like adjust. But I can actually finish Picard now because Luna would hiss.
Oh, that's right. I
Why?
remember
Luna was
that.
protecting you
She
from a
was protecting.
job that will infuriate you. When you're done watching, call me, text me. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear your opinions, but Luna was right.
Luna did not. She does not like Picard. Like she did not like Picard whatsoever.
Speaking of
Never
fan
had.
fiction, because it's, I have opinions. It feels like fan fiction. Each season, it's like a American Horror Story. Like each season has the same cast, but everyone's just a little bit different. So
Picard is
enjoy it like that.
it's a character that really needed therapy and not be in command of a starship. Um, and maybe just live his best life on, some sort of planet with lots of beautiful women that he could harass rather than leading people on like a discovery of the galaxy and then causing lots of problems because he doesn't want to make decisions that doesn't really involve his peen. So I don't like Picard. It's one of the rifts between one of my friends and I because she loves Picard a lot as a
Picard
captain.
is an F boy. He is a good captain, but everyone tries to say that Kirk is the F boy, but Kirk
No,
is just an overly romantic and sort of and I say this in a good way. He's like a simpy nerd. Y'all, he loves love and he'll do anything for you. He will do anything for you except give up Spock. Don't ask him to do that. But
don't do it.
but he'll do just about anything else. Um
He
and
is the meatloaf song. I will do anything for love, but I won't do that.
yes, Picard will wake up and sneak out of your house in the middle of the night. That's Picard. Kirk would never. He'll make you breakfast and he'll be like, I'm so sorry, I have to go. My career. And then, you know, there's sort of like this romantic-y goodbye thing. But Picard will just like leave and
He
not
is
call
not
you.
even a one night stand, and he will hit
Yeah.
it and quit it like immediately.
But we'll always have Paris. We'll always
Yeah, okay. Okay. I mean, like, all of his exes that went off and married other people were happy with their spouses. I just want to put that out there. On when they talked about his other exes and stuff, they were happy because he would have been a bad husband.
A terrible husband.
Like,
But I still maintain that Janeway is the best,
yes.
and she paved the way for our girl Burnham. And those are my top two.
Yeah.
There.
Redhead, that's the redhead to black girl pipeline.
It really is. And you know what? That might also be true of my personal life. But we're not going to talk about that. What we're going to say is that the women captains of Star Trek, right? And you see it all throughout all the different series. The women show up and show out in this series, in this whole entire universe. They literally are crushing it, you know? Because who was the default captain on The Next Generation? Beverly Crusher. Beverly was the voice of reason, always. It's just like, maybe we should do that.
She's like,
It's been
oh, no. And then at the end, it's like, also she knows how to use weapons. And I like that. I like that she's that she's like a little bit of all of the different type of captain styles. And I also am a big fan of Dr. Captain Crusher myself. Now it is 5:15, so that means that it's time to say
we're closing out. But before we do, can I just name all of the amazingness I have just dropped
Please
into
do.
the chat? Because you've reminded me that, we tend to focus on the real Star Trek in Trek Talk, but there's just a plethora of Star Trek-ish stuff that's so good. So if you want to get some, check out Star Trek No Voyages. If you don't care about production values, script, acting necessarily, you should check out Star Trek Phase 2. Like, if you love Star Trek so hard, and again, you're cool with the special effects being garbage, you should check out Star Trek Prelude to Anorex. Get your Star Trek on. Go buy an Apple Vision Pro headset so you can see William Shatner ramble for 20 minutes about Star Trek. Get Star Trek.
If I may, instead of buying an Apple headset, I think that perhaps they should join my reparations membership tier on my Buy Me a Coffee. Because I think that's a little bit more important, and it actually would add up to less money in a year. You'd spend less money.
We could talk about all of those different Star Treks here on Trek Talk.
Oh. Does that mean I have to watch them? Oh, no.
I will watch them because I love bad special effects, especially from the special effects from the early 2000s to mid 2000s.
Oh, yes.
Which is, I mean, top tier, y'all. That's why I love Babylon 5.
I like Babyland 5 as well. I like calling it that too.
Babyland 5
Babyland 5.
A good thing. But you should donate because Maiamama is actually the awesome. I hire her in my business and she makes us look good. Okay? good skills
Oh,
that
oh,
are worth investing in, people.
thank you. Well, let's do the Claudia, do you have any extra things you want to say? Are you good? And if good, say peace and long life.
Peace and long life.
Awesome. Lutetia, are you good? Do you have any other things do you want to say? If you are good, say peace and long life.
So I'm also plugging my course
Yes.
that starts on January 6th. Wink, wink. We ain't storming capitals. We're learning strategy on how to be resistant to oppression. If you
Yes.
would like to join, just kind of go to catalystconsultingassociates.com and click on that link that says courses. And you'll be linked to some of the stuff that we have going on, or just email me. It's $2,500 right now. Prices will go up because I am like that. Prices will go up. So we're going to do a 4-week intensive mini academy based off of my book, Cultivating an Intersectional Mindset. And we're going to go deep. We're going to learn strategies, tools, and this is also the price is part of my all of my reparations going to me
Yes.
so that we can bring you the great content that you know and love. So that's my shameless plug.
I love it.
Now,
I love it.
done. And this is my Gimpy. Peace out.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to do this thing. And then I'm just going to do, I forgot to turn on the music, so I'm just going to say this really quickly. Thank you so much for joining us. Trek Talk is a Calling of Justice production. Special thanks to executive producer Claudia Alick. For more information on Claudia, check out the links in the chat. It's going to be Linktree/Calling Up Justice. And also special thanks to me, your host, Maiamama. For more information on me, check out my Linktree in the chat. That's where you're going to find all the things about my reparations memberships tier on Buy Me a Coffee. And then also you can check out the brand new, all new video game that I premiered yesterday, Final Test, Chapter 1 of Final Test. So check out all those links. And that's everything. All right, I love you. Bye-bye.